stairs. Nia coming in, but will take the hit. Eruption on the generator as well. Eruption and Cauliflower. Nia does take a hit through the wall. So I don't know if that. Oh, and the dissolution value. These survivors. Deliverance from Claudette. Sprint bursting to the hot.
It's the same with these masks in the one event. She didn't get a mask either.
No.
Like,
oh, the ground.
That, yeah, oh, that was high. Look at this thing.
They're trying.
Pokey, nerf Nancy, man.
she's gonna get hacked, maybe.
Oh my goodness, she might just get hacked potentially. I think she does. Holy cow! I cannot believe.
They do get the spirit reset and they get the down.
Yes, they will get the survivors leaving the trial, and there's going to be the teleport with the Anna. She's right here, but Nia needs to go.
All right, and welcome back to another day of Champions of the Fog. And we are here for Divine Dead vs. Petroleum for the bronze match of Season 6 of Champions of the Fog. And I'm joined here today by Jukebox. How you doing today, Juke?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Ready and raring to go after the matches yesterday, and very excited to see who is going to come out on top here today on the Wrecker's Yard for set number 1. We are going to be seeing Petroleum Spirit against Divine Dead's Survivor team, followed by Divine Dead's Plague, which I know you are quite the fan of.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of money on the line here, so, you know, stakes are high, and I'm very excited to see how these teams perform when they're under stress like this, and especially with a Spirit versus a Plague, like, such an interesting matchup, and I'm curious to see how the results will be. It looks like we're already in first chase with our Spirit finding our Nia here.
Yeah, Nia doing a really great job around this tile here. A bit of a weak pallet, but making it to the next tile here. A bit of a stronger filler and making their way towards the shack. Our Spirit losing track of them just a little bit into the LT wall, but Spirit will successfully land their first hit. And that is, in fact, a sloppy butcher applied to that survivor. So the survivor is currently aware of 2 perks as of right now. Corrupt Intervention and, of course, sloppy butcher.
Very impressive pathing at the start. Oh, and the hit through the window. I think she was expecting the phase to happen right then. But I was gonna say very impressive pathing at the start at that tile. Like, able to escape that and get to a filler was actually very impressive. It looks like our Spirit is looking around for a good hook to hook her on, and a gen order gets done. That was probably a double, but this is not a bad start for either side here. This is anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Do want to note there, though, that is, in fact, a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance, as we did see the damage generator score event pop up. Now, as you mentioned, that may have been a 2-person gen, so that actually may have been a good thing in this case, meaning that the most progressed gen may have not had all too much progression, if any at all. So Scourge Hook may have not been as detrimental as it normally is, so we'll have to wait and see how these survivors react in turn.
Yeah, our Spirit's straying a little bit of ways away, trying to find which generator might have the most progress at this point, but this could be a very good opportunity for a Survivor to sneak in for a pull since she is a little bit of distance from the hook. Looks like she might be heading back. Yep, Survivor coming in for the save. Spirit on her way back, and we'll see whether she goes for the tunnel or whether she downs the unhooker here.
Yeah, that's always the question of the day. At the very least, they did reapply the Deep Wound stats effect over to the Nia. Looks like they will go for the tunnel, however, going into Shack. Nia dropping God Pallet to be safe, and for good reason, as the Spirit was hot on their trail. However, Spirit potentially dropping Chase here, kind of taking a look around, seeing what gens might have some progress.
Yeah, looks like she is going to commit to the tunnel here, though, trying to get the down here. We have a safer tile, so it is possible that Nia... Oh, almost made it out there, but lost the 50-50 on the window, and that's going to be the second hook. If there's no DS here for the Nia, it doesn't look like there is. So there's going to be second hook for the Nia at 4 generators. Maybe we see one popping soon, but that's another Scourge Hook on top of that.
Yeah, another Scourge Hook, another 15% off the most progressed gen. However, do want to note that the gen that the Ada was on here was pretty well progressed. However, It was not the one hit by Scourge Hook Pain Resonance, on top of which we did see a 4 people here on the Nia from the Nancy, which will mean that this chase will take just a little bit longer as we see another 2 generators pop off in the distance. So Survivor's not going down without a fight.
Yeah, really fast pull after that hook, but it was followed by a 4 people and then 2 generator pops. So this is actually a very strong position for the Survivors to be in. We got the tunnel out happening at 2 generators right now, but the Survivor in tunnel is still healthy, so this could very potentially be a long chase in this Nia. Really excellent pathing, losing the 50-50 once again, taking distance to a safer tile, and we'll have to see. It all comes down to this phase on whether the Nia will survive or not. Looks like she's playing the pallet, dying on pallet instead, potentially for a pallet save here.
Yeah, we did see that flashlight from the Ada earlier, so it makes a lot of sense that they are around trying to artificially extend this chase. However, it may not go in the Survivor's favor here, as Ada will end up going down, though we do see another Survivor sneaking on in, and I think the Spirit saw that too. I believe that is the ace, meaning that there's only 1 Survivor currently on a gen potentially, that of which being the Nancy, who is also injured, so things could take a turn for the worst here, to say the least.
Yeah, it looks like Nancy was able to reset through either inner or a med kit or something along those lines. And Ace also went out. We have 3 slug survivors on the ground now. The snowball absolutely insane from our Spirit player here. Sees the scratch marks, goes back. Another for the people after the pickup, preventing the tunnel out for even longer. These survivors are not going down without a fight.
Yeah, and we see that the Spirit actually going for the Nia here instead of the injured Nancy. And so there's kind of a give and take here, right? Because now Nancy is able to go for these pickups without really any concern. And we already see Ada back up, Spirit continuing the chase on the Nia. And I believe that may have been a quick and quiet. Did not hear any noise coming from that vault, potentially why this Nia has been so elusive in these chases.
Yeah, into the live, into the pallet drop. Yet another phase here on the dropped pallet. They were able to prevent this tunnel out for a long time. Can they keep it going? Does not look like they quite can, but an excellent run here by our Nia, keeping so much pressure on these gens for the Survivors. And yeah, again, these Survivors really not going down to the fight. They need to get some resets on the board, need to get their gen pressure back going, but it looks like they're still in the game here.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, only 1 Survivor sent back to Campfire via the Entity at 2 gens remaining. It's not all too bad. Also, I don't believe I saw a score event pop up there, so that was a regular hook. No Scourge Hook Pain or Resonance there for the Spirit, meaning that the most progressed gen has not been regressed. We do see a heal in front of the Spirit too on the Ada. Once again, Sloppy Butcher coming in play, slowing down things quite significantly, and we will see that this generator is highlighted in yellow, which now means by default is in fact a Call of Brine. Well, I guess technically it could be a Trail of Torment, but who actually uses that perk?
Pub players who want to play a stealth killer on the game, I guess? I don't know.
Exactly.
It can be fun. But anyway, excellent game sense from our Spirit, finding the reset. That's going to put a lot of pressure on the Survivors. It looks like they're opting to drop chase. They might be trying to injure all the Survivors once again to just keep that pressure on the Survivors. But a generator has most likely been worked for this time, so the Survivors can bring back a little bit of the pressure. This generator is very well progressed. Finding an injured Survivor here, though, this could mean a lot more pressure gained from the Spirit if they can win the mind game, and it looks like they do, and Nancy's going to go down on what seems to be their most progressed generator, too, which is very unfortunate for the Survivors.
Now, I do want to note that Nancy was the one with For the People, and very commonly we see For the People paired alongside Deliverance as well as Unbreakable, so it is very possible that we do see a lack of pressure here in the grand scheme of things if the Nancy is able to unhook themselves without any intervention from Ace or Ada. And I think the Spirit is kind of thinking that too, looking back at that hook, wondering if the Nancy will unhook themselves, and sure enough, there it is.
Yep, as you're saying, the Deliverance coming in, going for the Ada here, who, excellent job playing outside the pallet, and it looks like Ace sneaking and trying to get that generator. A Blast Mine comes in, and now the Spirit's a little disoriented. They get so much distance from this now, has to continue the kick to apply that Call of Brine, and is going to be looking around for where the Survivors went, as they just made a lot of distance.
Yeah, I mean, Blast Mine has been seeing more and more usage in competitive play. I mean, we've been seeing Blast Mine, been seeing head on these perks that can artificially either extend chases or increase distance for Survivors in those instances. So really interesting to see that play such a pivotal part in this chase alone, where Spirit really has just completely lost both the Ada and the Ace. And they are lost at ether there, where Call of Brine, the only thing kind of stopping these Survivors from finishing the 5th generator. But with the gen split as is, I mean, these survivors are primed and ready for a potential 2, if not 3-man out.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to play this slow, which I really agree with. Get the resets on the board, then pressure the gens as a team, and they can definitely get some outs here if they play this correctly. I think our Spirit, realizing they're not going to be pressuring that gen, has to find the reset here, and that's exactly what she's going to be doing. Going out on the map, trying to find the reset. That looks like they were, in fact, pushing a generator, which I don't think the Spirit was expecting. Getting another hook here on the Nancy, but with how progressed that generator was in the corner, they might be able to double it and finish it, but Colubrine did do a number on that generator as well.
Yeah, on top of which we hear that scream from Scourgehook Pain residents on the ace. So at the very least, one survivor is on the most progressed gen. Which gen is yet to be seen, as we did not see any Colubrine noise notifications from the generator over by the excavator, though it does appear to be Ace's gen.
Yeah, still really progressed, 85-90% as it looks. And Ace is the only healthy survivor right now, so the Spirit, if she is able to get the injury here on Ace, this could mean a lot of pressure for our killer. It looks like they get the pull in time. It's just a matter of whether they're going to reset or double that gen at the other side of the map here, which might be the play since Ace is still healthy and can have a decent chase, making his way over to the shack. Now, Spirit has no phase yet, so this chase can be extended for quite a long time without Ace playing dangerously close to what could be the active generator right now. And yep, there's the Colubrine notification. Spirit going to drop chase and find the injured survivors here. So this could be problems, not quite able to get the stun in time, and she is going to pick up and kill the Nancy here, it looks like.
Yeah, though keep in mind, Ada is still around with a flashlight in hand, but looks like no flashlight save attempted here today. And so Nancy will in fact be sent back to campfire via the entity. 2 survivors out. Before it was looking more and more like a 2-man out for these survivors, but now it's actually looking like we might see a 4K in favor of the Spirit.
Yeah, it looks like that indeed. At the start of the game, they had such a strong start, but towards the end, they got so aggressive on these generators. And although that playstyle can work, unfortunately, it just did not pay off for them. Although it looks like they're still cranking away at this generator, and they are not giving up without a fight. It is still possible to get a 1 out here at the very least. Let's see if the survivors can pull it off. Ace being very sneaky here. Gets hit now. They do have 2 generators with a lot of progress, and so our Spirit has to commit and get these downs as quickly as possible. Ace making his way to the edge of the map, maybe trying to finish that generator furthest away right now, and it could happen. At least a 4K got all gens done, I'd say.
Yeah, and I will say Spirit leaving the ace here is risking a potential adrenaline. I mean, the gens were pretty well progressed, and I would not be surprised if Ada committed to it. Sure enough, there's the gen completion. Ace still on the ground, though we have not seen an unbreakable as of yet, though no sign of Ada, as I think they're trying their best to sneak away from the situation.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to sneak out of this considering the gen just popped and she's injured, although it looks like our Spirit is kind of losing her for the time being, not quite able to find her. Ada doing a great job sneaking away, and our Spirit looks a little lost right now, unable to find the survivor. If she's able to get away and pick up the ace, it does not look like she was. Went to this side of the map, Spirit finds her. So this, without an unbreakable in play, looks like the 4K all. I would say this game was very back and forth from the survivor and killer, though. Excellent play from both sides here, and Spirit on the trail, the final chase. Losing her once again for a little while. Ada, excellent job pathing the Spirit up. And, I was gonna say, wait, is she gonna get away?
Yeah, Spirit kind of looking around, trying to find them. They do find that blood trail just on the edge of the tile, though. I mean, Ada, definitely the second coming of Ace, being built-in Iron Will there, and able to use it quite well. And looks like they will end up hooking the Ada here. We already saw that Deliverance has been used, so no second chances there. And Ace be on ground as long as they have, I would imagine they do not have Unbreakable in hand.
Yeah, looks like they might be playing for the bleed out here to deny as many points. Ace is fresh hook, so that would be quite a few points denied. But with a map like Wrecker's Yard and it being a Spirit, I think it's going to be very hard to get the bleed out here. Although, no sign of Ace as of yet. Our Spirit desperately looking to make sure that she can secure that 4K all.
Yeah, the biggest thing here is the fact that in the instance that the Ace bleeds out, however, we saw that Crow popping up over that rock, and that is sure enough the ace with just about a minute left on their bleed out timer, and that there will be the 4K for Petroleum at 5 gens completed. And that's one of the biggest things I do want to point out here. When it comes to S tiers, it's always about how many gens you complete, not necessarily how many survivors escape. And so 5 gens in is definitely not bad, to say the least. And so in the instance that Divine Dead's Plague is able to get a 4K at 5 gens or less, that will force a set 3 no matter what. In instance they get a 4K at 4 gens or less, then that there will secure the win for Divine Dead.
Yeah, very curious to see how a Plague is going to compete with a Spirit result like this. Although with it being Plague on a map that isn't bad for her, it is definitely possible if the right 3 gen is intact.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what comes of this upcoming match in trial number 2, but for now, that there will end trial number 1, Petroleum versus Divine Dead. And with that being said, we are going to be getting the next lobby set up in just a few moments. But before we do want to remind everyone here today that you, yes, you the viewers, are our sponsors. So that as they watch, all the bits that I tip, all the subs they buy, and of course all the rogue energy by using the code COTF, using goes to supporting Chance of Fog and the prize pool for Group A and Group B. Clearly, I need some more rogue energy myself. And as always, do want to remind everyone here today as well that we are getting that much closer to getting partnered all over on YouTube. So if you guys haven't already, we much appreciate it if you stopped on by and said hi over on the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, and of course the bell if you are interested in being notified when we upload on a weekly basis. With that being said, guys, we'll be back in just a little bit.